Start now. Hello, buddy that is joining us. And if you can't hear me, please at any point in time, you can just let me know in the comment section so I can actually, handle that as soon as possible. So, first things first, before I start any work in Okay, first let me give a brief introduction first. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tim Sam and I make motion graphics and graphic design related content right here on YouTube. And if there's something that interests you, please remember to like, share, subscribe to this channel for more amazing videos like this. I am almost at 5,000 subscribers and I'll be really grateful if you guys can get me over the edge. Please share this video to anybody that you think that this video is going to help, because it takes a whole lot to make this video, and I'm really grateful for you guys. And since I'm offering it for free, please, I will not mind if you guys just share to somebody so that I can get more views and YouTube can finally monetize me. So thank you so much. So whenever I enter After Effects like this, first thing I want to do is I want to clear my cache, because a lot of times After Effects store a lot of nonsense in the cache, so it takes up a whole bunch of space. At any point in time, if you don't understand anything, if you just want to ask me any question in general, I'll be answering your questions as you are sending it in the comment section. So please always just remember, please, any question that you have, please, you can just ask in the comment section and I will answer it as soon as I see it. So, the first thing I'm going to do is, like I was saying, anytime I start in After Effects, first of all, After Effects takes a whole bunch of space and it has a whole bunch of nonsense that gets saved when you're working. So, I like clearing everything from my previous sessions. So, what I do, sorry, let me change something first. So, what I do basically is I come to edit here, go down to purge, and I'm just going to purge all cache. So as you can see here already there's 31.2 gigabytes of cache that After Effects is storing on my system, and I don't want that. So I can just clear the cache and so that I can just have a clean slate. So today we are going to be working on a particular animation that I started working on, but when I was working on it, I now told myself that okay, it would be a whole lot better if I work on the animation with everybody in chat so they can see how I create animations in real time. So I was just, I've done a little bit of the animations already. So because of this thing, and let me just change this down to like third. Let's go half. Okay. So now if I play that back now, you can see that I've done a part of the animation already so that you guys can just see what I'm going to like be working towards here. And we are going to be recreating it and completing this animation, and I'll be going at it from scratch, like till the end. So I'm starting from ground zero and I'm going to finish at the end. Again, if you want to say anything, ask any questions or anything, you can let me know in the comment section and I'll be able to answer those comments. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my layers. So this was layers I was already working on and I don't want to see that for now. So what I can do is that I can just, create a new folder, and I'm just going to move all this into the new folder so that I don't have it conflicting with the brand new one I'm trying to create. Okay, now going to my file explorer here, and I'm just going to find my Illustrator file because I made this in Adobe Illustrator, and I'm just going to drag that into my composition here. So you see layer size, composition here. So for import kind now, I'm going to leave it on composition, and for my layer size, my footage dimension, I'm going to leave it at layer size. What that does is what that does is that network just went back very well. And what that does is that when I import it into After Effects like this, it's just going to bring everything in. Let's click that so we can see everything here. Just going to bring everything with our layers and all into After Effects. So as you can see, everything is a little bit outside. So let me just rearrange it properly so I can just drag that and just put all of them inside the composition like this. So I don't need to be finagling finagling with it anytime that I want to, like watch what I'm doing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start from like my scenes. So I have this my scene one here. Let's scene one here, scene two here, scene three, scene four. Those are the scenes that I've already prepared down. And I'm just going to select this one. So this is my scene one. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to create a new composition, 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, and click on OK. Now I'm going to create a new solid by pressing Ctrl Y, and I'm going to make the solid white like this. Click on OK, and I'm going to lock the solid because I don't want the solid to mistakenly move when I'm walking around with some things. I want the solid to just be locked in one particular location. So from what I copied now, I can paste that, and I'm going to be dropping the project files for this in the video description immediately after this live, so that you guys can actually watch it back, walk along with me, and be doing it for yourself. So that's the plan. And as you can see, it's not arranged properly, it's not aligned properly. So what I have to do now is, this is the text, just move that up. You have two other things, move those two up here also. Now, how I'm saying this now, I don't want it to be like this anymore. I want this, my icon here, to be in the middle. So what is the weather? Then this icon now appears in the middle of two of them. And you cannot convert vectors into text. If it was Photoshop now, I can just convert the text in the Photoshop file back into text. But since it's an Illustrator file, I have to just retype it back myself. So I'm just going here, just typing what is the, and I'm just going to leave that like that. Bring that down here, and I'm just going to select these ones. Just going to move them to the middle here. Then I'm just going to duplicate this one, move that back here. I'm just going to complete it with weather. Now, the first part of this now is going to be together. So I want what is the weather to be the one that will be on the screen. Then this our icon comes in next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, let's solo this layer. Sorry, not this layer, the weather layer. Weather layer, this and this. And for the time being, we can just add our solid background also. Now, this is our main composition that has the what is the weather now. I'm just going to align that to the center of our composition, horizontally and vertically like this. I'm just going to position this one so that it matches along with it. It's okay if you don't get it perfect. It's just for us to use it as a guide. Then I can now say, okay, now that I've gotten that, I can unsolo these layers. And for the original one here, is what is the way that the longer one, I can delete it. If you're just joining us again, please like, share, and subscribe. This is going to be a very cool video, and I'm sure you're going to like it. And also, if you have any questions as I'm going through anything, please feel free to ask me, so that I can, explain better to you. So I'm going to just select these ones now, and I want to just align this one to the center of my composition like this. And I can come down here, and I'm going to use my proportional grid. So it's going to create this grid. So I can use this grid now to just find out where the center is. So the center is somewhere around here, and I can also move that back somewhere like here. So I'm just using this bigger box to find out where the center is. Okay. Now we have gotten the first position of our text. What is the weather? Now we're going to start with the animation of it. So let's shut off this proportional grid now. And I have these effects that I use normally for my personal animations. And what it is that it's just some presets that I've created. For example, this word ramp pump, like this, apply it here. You can see it's just animating by itself. So it's another way I use to make myself like be faster. But for the sake of this tutorial, if you want to buy this, actually, you can. There's a link in my video description that you can buy this my presets from. But also, I can also teach you guys how to do it by yourself. I'm just going to my text here, going to animate, then I'm going to position. Now, I'm going to make a keyframe on my position here. I'm going to come down to around 15 frames here, and I'm just going to drag that down to, like, let's say plus 30, like this. Sorry, I made a mistake. I think I'm going to come to my position here. I'm just going to change this to 30, like this, so that everything moves down here. I'm going to open up my range selector here, and you see start and end. If I start increasing my start and end, you can see that everything is just going up and coming down like this. Yeah. But what I want to do is that instead of going up and coming down, I want it to just move by words, not by what they call it, by character. So first of all, make a keyframe here. I'm going to around 15 seconds here. I'm just going to bring that up to 100. Now I'm going to select this. I'm going to hit F9 to easy ease. I'm going to open my graph editor, and I'm just going to change this to 60 and change this also to 60. I'm just going to do the same thing for here. Change this to 60 and change this also to 60. Now, if I come back here like this now and play it back, you can see it has a very cool animation. But like I said, I want it to be, but like I said, I want it to, be animating up word by word, not character by character. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to my advanced section here. I'm going to this place that shows characters, and I'm going to change that into words. If I play that back, you can see that it's coming up now word by word. So that's a very cool way to do that animation. Next thing is that at this point in time here, I don't want it to be visible. I want everything to be like have opacity. So I'm just going to hit U so I can see only my keyframes, and I'm going to press Shift T so that I can make a keyframe on the opacity, move that back here, and for this my initial opacity here, I'm just going to drag that down to 0. Ah, Jesus. Sorry, I'm trying to handle a bit of technical issues. Okay, so let me just go over this opacity thing I said again. So for example, we are back here like this now. So if you notice now, our text is visible from the very, very nice, just like this. So that is very, very cool. Now, you can see that since we have a separate layer for this weather here, you can see that it's not the same. It's not going to be the same and everything. So I have to make sure that this my weather here animates with this also. So I can just do the same thing I did for this one. But this time I'm just going to use my preset. Since I've already showed you guys how to create it by yourself, I'm just going to use word wrap up here and apply it on this my presets here. So now you can see that for it's looking not together because this one is supposed to start animating later. If I hit U here, let me delete the empty keyframe. I'm just going to move that back until I come to a point where I can see it animating like it should. Okay, no, not here. Let's move our keyframes back again. Is that it? Let's check it again. Looks a bit too slow. Okay. Another thing we can do is that we can just cut this place back here, so that it's invisible until the end. So now you have this cool looking animation. So what is the weather? Very, very cool looking animation like this. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do now is we are going to jump to the second animation, and that's going to be the transition between from this now to the transition of my icon now. I want to make my icon pop up inside the entire thing. So the icon wants to come in between this weather here and this what is the here. So let's unhide all those layers here so you can see the icon here. But now I want to make sure that my icon is in the middle here. So I'm just going to select all these layers, and I'm just going to hold down shift and move it so that, okay, I know that it's in the middle of these two here. Now, next I'm going to do is I'm going to select these two here. I'm going to hit P to open my position property, and I'm going to make a keyframe on their positions. Now let's hit you so I can see all their property. Now I want the animation to be almost instantaneous. So let's say after 2 frames after this one finish animating, that's where this our new animation is going to start from. Now I'm going to take this weather now. I'm just going to shift that back here. I'm going to take this what is the. I'm going to shift that back here. Now let's open up our proportional grid again, so we can actually see if what we are doing now is very proportional to itself. So I think this needs to come in a little bit more on this side. Yeah, I think something like this is okay. Something like this is okay. Now I made a mistake. God, I made a mistake. Okay, so the mistake was when I made my keyframe here, where two of them are together, I'm supposed to move down a bit. So let's just move down by like 10 frames. So you do Control Shift and space any place you want to go, either backward or forward. And I'm just going to now do what I just did again. I'm just going to move that here and select this and just move this here like this. So I think it looks proportional right now. Like this. Like this is awesome. Okay. So now we have our animation looking good like this. Now we have to ease in this animation. Today is going to be, you can use it for both UI and SaaS, because the next one I'm going to enter, let me go to the by okay, Kingdom Motion. Okay, so the next one I'm going to enter now is, after I finish doing this one like this, now we are going to enter this UI animation. Understand? So it's going to be like a full storyboard that we are going to be doing. So we are going from let me go to the from this thing. We are going from this to this to this to this. So you can also use it for SaaS animation, and you can also use it for UI animation. You can use it for the both. It's the same principle for doing SaaS animations and doing the both animation, because if you are going to be making like a weather app, because that's what you are trying to work on like this now, and you're supposed to do like the UI animation for the weather app, you can actually use something like this to like animate it properly. So that's what we're working on today. And if I just select these two, back to the this thing now, if I just select these two now and I hit like F9 on my keyboard, so I can easy ease. And I have this plugin here called Flow that I use to make keyframes easily. But because of the scope of this video, I'm going to be doing everything without plugins. So, okay, I'm going to show you guys what to do with plugins and without plugins. But I'm just going to focus on like the normal animation, not the Ojoro animations. So if I open up my panel here, my graph here, and select this. And because it's looking small, let's just zoom in a little bit more. Drag this back, select this, and I'm just going to drag it this way. Now, if you see this curve now like this, now this is the curve of my speed. If you cannot see this, if you cannot see curve like this, you're just going to go to edit speed graph. Click left click here and go to edit speed graph. So now this curve now shows you the motion that is going to go through. So you have from here like this now, it's going to just smoothen the motion for you. Now, another thing I want to show you guys is a very cool trick about how you can make your animation bounce even after it finished stopping like this now, because this animation now is a bit too, what's what I'm looking for? Is it formulaic, I'll say it, or is it a bit too what's the word I'm looking for again, sir? It's a bit too straight. But we need to make it like a little bit more uh exciting. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to my pen tool here, and I'm going to click on this my motion. You can see that my cursor has changed. I'm going to click on this here. I'm going to give me a handle here, and I'm just going to drag the handle out a little bit and just make sure it goes back to the line. So let me zoom in so you can see it. You can see that the handle now has given me this, is making me able to control this line like this. So if I just drag that outward a little bit and just make sure that it lines up properly like this, if I play that portion back now, you can see now it has a very cool bounce at the end. So if you look at this, what is the first? See how it just stops. But now if I go to weather here, you can see that it hits different. Understand? Let me not drag it out too much because it's just a little motion. And I'm just going to do the same thing for here also. Click on that, move that out a little bit. So we just have cool motion like that. Cool. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I want to start working on this my icon here. I want this icon to look like glass, and I don't want it to be like 2D looking. I want it to be like 3D kind of looking. And the easiest way to do that is by just first of all, because I'm going to be working on some crazy things here. I want to convert this background layer back into a shape layer. So I can just come here, left click, go to create shape from vector layer, click on that. Understand? Now I can see everything now has been created, and this original one here, I can delete it. If I open that up now, you see that inside the contents, you see some groups and you see some parts. So all these things are very, 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 very important. Now, so the matter is that you don't need all these parts. Since it's a simple solid layer like this, these multiple parts are going to mess you up sometimes. And what I just need is I just need the normal rectangle shape. So if I come here like this now, among my part here, I can just find the part that is actually useful. This one isn't. Sorry, I deleted the whole group. If you see this part here, this is my part number one. This part is not actually useful. So let's bring it out of the group and delete it. Open my group again. We have part one and part two here. This my part two is useful. This my part one isn't. So I can just delete that. So now, as you can see, I've deleted everything that was inside, but I still have my overall shape, because if I click on it now, you can see that it's this part two that is actually the shape of this entire layer here. So this is what I actually needed in the first place. Now, I can just close that up. And like I was saying, I want to make it look 3D looking. So if I come to my effects and preset panel here and I use light sweep, and I apply CC light sweep on this my layer here, if you notice now, you can see that there's a little bit of an edge that has given it on this place here. So I like that edge, and I want the edge to like move, so I can move the edge inside here. Let's come back now. You can see that it's a bit more 3D looking now. I can change this sharp to smooth now, and my intensity now, let's just drop the intensity because I just want it to only light up that edge area. I can also reduce my edge thickness to something like this. So now, if you look at the before and the after, you will see that okay, right now it looks a little more 3D. than the other one. So this is a very, very simple way to just give your designs very, very good, a very, very cool 3D look. Now, next thing I want to start working on now is okay, I've gotten my 3D look now. Let's work on your animation of this because you just have from the beginning here, just have it here. This has to enter too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the point that this starts animating. So it starts pulling away. And it's going to be within the same time like this now that this has to come in. Now, if you notice, this is an icon. This sun and this cloud are basically what do you call it? Um the same, like supposed to move the same way together. All of them are supposed to their movement is interconnected with each other. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to use this my parent and link here, and link these two to this my layers here. Now, what that means is that any motion I make with this my rectangle layer here is going to, move everything that is parented or linked to this. Okay, why I convert it to vector first is that sometimes a lot of some effects will not work on like vectors very well. And even if they work on the vectors, because they are vectors, once you try and upscale those vectors, it's going to break the effect. So, if you're importing from Illustrator, it's coming in as a vector file. If I click on this continuous rasterize button here on the original, it can break this CC effect that I applied on this shape. So converting to a shape is better for you because you can actually keep the what do you call it? Keep the effects even after you upscale it. For example, now we say shape layer down here. You can see that this place now, the continuous rasterize is on, but this two like this now is off. If I on it like this now and maybe I had like a CC light sweep on top them here, it's going to like break the CC light sweep, and I'll have to unrasterize it. And if, let's say I want to upscale this video now to 4K, I can't, except I redo that particular animation. So a lot of times when you're working on with Illustrator files and you're trying to add external effects on them, it's better you just convert it into a shape layer and work on the shape layer instead of working on the Illustrator file. I hope you understand like the explanation. God is gonna help us. Yeah. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to work on my transition in. So my in transition. And what I'm going to do is for see my circle and my cloud here, I'm going to open up their position properties now. Now I'm going to animate them separately from the full animation, but I'm still going to animate them. Let's say I click on our position here. So this is our final position. I'm just going to drag it to the back here. For my initial position here, I want this to be coming from outside here and this to be coming from outside here like this. And as you can see, it's looking like, okay, why is this two of them outside like this? It doesn't make any sense. What I can do now is I can just select the two of them, and I'm always going to toggle between modes so I can check my track matte here. I'm just going to pick with my track matte to this layer here. I know that my layer had disappeared. All I just need to bring the layer back now is come down here and click on this. And what that does is that it cuts out anything that is outside this layer. So when these two move back in, is visible. But once they are outside the layer, they are outside the layer. You cannot see them anymore. That's why I use my track matte them to that my layer. Cool. That's cool. Now I'm going to select these two and I'm just going to hit F9 to easy ease. And the graph editor I'm going to use is the same thing with the other one. Just drag this and drag this back like this. So you have a very simple flowing animation. Very, very cool like that. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to my general shape layer here because I want the shape layer to animate inward. And I'm going to make a keyframe on my scale here. I'm going to move that down to the end, and I'm just going to change the initial scale here to 0. Now select these two F9 to easy is open up my graph editor, the same transition again, drag that in, select this, drag that back. So you have this cool looking animation like this. But now if you notice, this one has that bounce animation, like it hits and it compresses, but the other one doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the place where I know that okay it overshoots. So that's somewhere around here. Okay, that's here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste that there. Now for this one now, I'm going to increase the scale here to 110. So you can see now, let's solo this so I can see the animation of only this. You can see now that the animation for this now, you can see that it overshoots, compresses back. So that's why you always like make sure that every all your animations are dialed in perfectly. Let's unsolo that now. So let's play everything from the beginning again so we can see. So you can see that everything now is looking pretty cool. I don't know, I'm not liking that weather, the way the weather comes in. Let's move this back a bit. Okay, I think that is better. So what is the weather? And it just what is the weather? It just opens up like that. So you can see that we have done something crazy already. Now, next thing I want to do is I want like a mouse. Let's move this. Let's action say first. I want like a mouse now to come from outside here, move inside, and click on this button here. So to create a mouse is very simple. Just make sure not it's selected here. Select your pen tool, and you're just going to draw something that looks like this. So this is a very simple mouse to create. Anybody can create it. You can see, looks cool. Now I'm going to make sure that my anchor point is at the center of the mouse. So I'm going to hold Control and double click. But now the mouse is in the center of the composition here, and it's a bit too big, so I can just reduce it to something like this. Yeah, something like this is okay. Now, if you notice that mouse normally, I mean mice. What is the plural of mouse? Mouses or mice? Mouses, that sounds wrong. Normally have like a little stroke around them. So I'm just going to add some stroke to it, and let's see how it looks here. The stroke is a little bit too small, so let's just change that to like 3. Yeah, I think that's okay. That's very cool. Now I'm going to animate this mice so that it just moves in, and it's going to be moving in as this is animating in also. So what I'm going to do is let's come to the place where I know it's going to be. So it's going to be here. This way the animation is going to stop, and I'm going to make a keyframe on my position, and I'm just going to come to somewhere around here. Let's move this down a bit, somewhere around here, and I'm just going to move this outside. Now if you look at this animation now, you just see the mouse moving in like this, and that is a bit too rigid. I don't like that. You need it to have a little bit more, you know, move, because if you see if somebody is moving a mouse, the person doesn't just move the mouse just that to the place like this. It has to have a little bit of start, stop, and it doesn't just go straight. It has to curve or bend. So I'm just going to come to my pen tool again. I'm going to click this mouse. Sorry, I'm going to go to my position. You. Where is the end keyframe? Okay, here. So yeah. So I'm just going to get my pen tool here. I'm just going to click on this my motion. Why is the motion? Why does the motion want to click? Let me zoom in so I can have better. Oh, sorry, I forgot to easy is first. F9 to easy is. Uh, then I can now come to this place now. I can now click this. And with that, I can use that to just drag this. I don't think dragging it from there will make any sense. Let's drag it from here like this. So instead of the mouse now to come straight like this, it's going to like curve a little bit. So let's check that out. So you can see that it's looking pretty cool. Um, I think it's still happening a little bit too fast. Let's make sure that let's do like 30 frames. So let's move that back here. Now I'm going to select this, open up my graph editor, and I'm just going to, do our normal graph that we have been doing since the beginning of this. Okay. And now I feel like it's happening a little bit too slow. A lot of times in motion design, this is the problem. You would think that something's happening a little bit too fast. You now do some things, now feel like it's happening a bit too slow. Let's check that again. Okay. I see that without the line. Okay, that's looking cool. So next thing I want to do now is I want to do my click animation. So if I move down here by like 2 frames, I'm going to open up my scale. I'm going to make a keyframe on my scale here. I'm going to move down by 4 frames, and if something is clicking now, it will first reduce. So I'm going to reduce this by like 4. So I'm going to 38, and I'm going up again. I'm going front again by 4 frames, and I'm just going to take this back to 40. Let's go to 44. So it's going to increase a little bit more. So if you look at it back like this, now you play it back. Let's zoom into our timeline and let's see. Check that out. So moves in. Now at this point in time now, when it goes small like this, now you can see that the click animation is looking good. So at this point in time like this now, when this thing is at the smallest, yeah, this is supposed to have its own animation, like okay, I am being clicked. So I'm just going to move down by like 1 frame, and this is where the own this animation for this now is going to start. Now I don't need to animate everything because, like I said before, I have already parented everything to this my shape layer here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make another keyframe on my scale here. Going to move down by 4 frames, and I'm going to take this down to this is 100 minus 4, that will be 96. So it becomes smaller. So this is okay. It's supposed to be like 1 frame after this that's supposed to start. Sorry, my bad. So 4 frames after that, now we have our final. And instead of going back to 100, I'm just going to take it to 102. So let's check that out. So as you can see now, it looks like it's actually being clicked. So we have a very, very cool looking animation already. And we have what's the weather, this, and it's being clicked. Now, the next thing I'm going to work on now is a transition. And we are going to be transitioning everything here from this to this, our second layer here. This our forecast or weather of our weather app here. So let's just select that, copy that. No, this is not the one for it. It's this one here. Copy that, come here, and I'm just going to paste it. Now you have to find it pasted outside our timeline here, our work area here. So I'm just going to drag that inside like this. Now, this is something I wanted to also show you guys. You can see that I pasted it now, it's looking blank. What happened? It's blank because everything that's supposed to be at the front now is at the back. So After Effects has a way of, when it's copying, it copies the in the way you select. So if you notice how I selected it here, I dragged everything from the side here. It clicked on this background first, and it selected the background first. So anything I'm going to paste now, you're going to paste the background first. What I tell people to do now is just select everything like this. Then you note the number. So I have 12 like this to 12 to 129. Now unclick it. Then I come back here, select 12, Scroll down to 129, and I can just copy that. Come here, paste, and if I bring it inside now, it's going to be arranged or aligned in like best possible way for it to be aligned. So it's very very cool for you to do it like that. Now, next thing I'm going to do is let's just select that and just move that a little bit inward. I'm going to align it properly and everything after now. But the first thing I want to do now is I want to make sure that the transition from this rectangle to this rectangle here is as smooth as possible. So first of all, let's take all this because this is supposed to be on top till the end here. We're just going to drag that to the top of our composition. So let's zoom in here. Now select this again, go to our proportional grid here so that we can actually align it to the middle. And all you just need to do is just align the bigger one to the middle. And if you do that, everything has already been aligned. So I'm just trying to position all this properly. Let's see. So let's see. Let's move it up again. Move it sideways. So something like this. This one now has pretty much aligned everything in the way that we want it to align. Now I'm going to just show you guys something. As you can see, everything looks a little bit too blurry here, and that's because we are working in like with vectors. And if I want the vectors to be clearer, what I just need to do is I just have to select all the vectors and come to my continuous rasterize here and click on it. So it's going to make the vectors very 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 clearer than it's supposed to be. And also since I'm working in half, it's going to reduce my my clarity. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my transitions go perfectly well. So I'm just going to select this background layer here for the time being, and I'm just going to hit T so I can open my opacity. And I'm just going to, fade in and out like this. Now, the thing is that I want this my background for this my shape layer. Let me see if I can find that again. This shape layer for this um layer here to morph into this bigger thing here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this into shape also, and I can just delete the original because I don't need that anymore. If I open that up, open this up, open up group, open up path, you can see this path here now is the path of the shape. Understand? And this is also a rectangle. This is a rectangle. So there's a way I can convert this smaller rectangle to this bigger rectangle. Say no wahala. Let's do it. So now I'm going to my smaller rectangle here. Where is my smaller rectangle? So that's this one here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open that up, open up content, open up group one, and remember path. So we have this as second part here. I'm going to make a keyframe on my first part. Let's just move that back to anywhere it's supposed to be. And now for this other one now, I'm just going to be trying to recreate the path of this bigger one here. So I'm just going to move this to the side here. Select this four because I don't want to spoil the curve. That's why I'm moving them 4 by 4. Move it here. So now we have vertical and horizontal. So select 2, 3, 4. Move that up here. And I know it's not the same curve. We are going to handle that later. Select this, move that down here. Now let's zoom in. Sorry. and I'm just going to select, put down shift and move this up. So as you can see, as I'm moving it up like this now, you can see that it's just covering the same thing. Select this, let's just move this to up. So you can see that now we have gotten our curve here. If I come down, select this two and move that down like this. You can see that we are able to get the curve now to go from this small one to this big one. Very, very cool. Now, another thing that you're going to do is you're going to make sure, okay, I'm getting it at the right moment. So at the point it clicks like this, I want the transition to come after it clicks like this. So let's come to somewhere around here, somewhere around here, and we're going to start that, and it's going to take us, let's say, 5 seconds. Select this, and I'm just going to move that back here. Now, another thing I'm going to do is that I don't just want it to, let's solo this layer first so that you guys can understand what I'm doing. So as you can see now, we have it now animating from here to here. So you have it clicking here and it animates here. Now I don't want it to just animate. I also want to give it that bounce animation. So I'm just going to hit U so I can see all my keyframes. And I'm just going to go back to my scale again. And I'm going to make another keyframe on my scale. I'm going to move that down, make another keyframe again. So on this one like this, just going to move that down and move up by 4 frames, and I'm going to increase this to 10. Let's increase it by 4, so 106. So let's check that out. As you can see, you have that bounce animation also. So it's just a very cool effect to use. Now, another thing you have to notice, you have to understand is that you are going from like a gradient background like this to a black background. So let's get back where the animation starts from. That's here. And we are going to just Control Shift D. So now we have two shapes. And the good thing about this is that the shape now has the exact same, order and everything with this. And I'm going to go to Effect and Preset panel here. I'm just going to type in fill and apply fill here. Now I can just increase this. I'm changing the color of this to black. Now I'm going to my opacity here, and I'm going to make a keyframe on my opacity, coming to the end here and move that back. So my initial opacity here now just be 0. So you are going from this to that. Understand? Very, very cool. Going from this to that. Now let's move that thing and match it properly. Okay, so that is looking a whole lot better. Now at the end of this my transition here, at this place here, just doing Control Shift D, delete this, and I can just cut this back. The reason why I'm doing that is because I already have a background for that already, and that is this background here. So this my background layer here. Where's that background layer again? Sorry. This is my background layer here. Now it's going to take over from the end of this transition. Where is why I move to the back? So here. So now like this now, we can now remove the opacity back from this. and change the color to black. So if you guys have any questions, please you can ask, because I know that what I just did now might have maybe confused some of you guys. But you can ask your questions if you don't understand or if you don't get what I just did. So you can see now we have a very cool looking transition. Let's increase this to somewhere around here. Then we do this to the back. Okay. So now you can see have this very cool looking at transition like this. It's also not very dynamic for me, and I want it to have that same, CC light sweep effect. So I can just copy that here. I'm just going to go to the background here, and I'm just going to paste that here. So for this one now, let's give it sharp. Let me make it sharp. So just reset it. Move that to the back here. Make this smaller. Let's increase the width like this. So we can just make it a bit more gradient look. So something like this is better. Yeah. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm doing though. Please, let's not be like I'm just saying a lot of things at once. So another thing I can do is if I increase the length of this, let's see where is this supposed to take over. So we take over from here. I can do Control Shift D, and I can just make this, because I want to make sure that this gradient is starting from the inside. So I can just make the track matte of this one, this layer here. Let's check that out. Let's make sure that this also is visible. Yeah, as you can see now, the gradient is inside. Well, see, I'm just good to add the matter. Okay, so now for the interesting part, how we are going to get rid of the other ones. So let's say from this point exactly like this now, where this starts to go, that's from here to here. This sun and this cloud now have to skedaddle. They have to remove. Yeah. And what we're going to do is let's move this back that pull that together. And what we're going to do now is for the sun and the moon here, we're going to make keyframes on their position, come to the end here, and I'm just going to drag the two of them outside. So for the sun, this is the sun or the moon, I don't know now. Move it outside like this, and for this other one, move it outside like this. So let's check out the graph editor. Looks almost fine, but let's drag that back. What's up, Doc? Okay, so now let's check that out again. Okay, I'm trying to find where the two of them disappeared to so fast. Okay, they're already outside. Oh, that means this thing might be a little bit too fast. So let's bring that in. Select this. Let's check out again. Okay, so it's a bit more visible. Yeah, so that is better. Yeah, so this is better for this thing, because I want the animation to actually show for a little bit. So we have it in animating in and animating out. So that's cool. Next thing I want to do now is I want to just say, okay, let me animate this left and this right, two texts here and here, because same way it animates in, it also has to, animate out also. Now let's come back here and let's go down to our text. What is the, yeah? So this is where our animation starts from again. Starts from here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, select these two parts here, make keyframes on my position also, move down to somewhere around here where the animation finishes. And let's just bring it, can still bring it out a little bit more. And I'm just going to, for this one, just drag it back. For this one, drag it back also. Make a keyframe of opacity. Where is the opacity for this one? Make a keyframe of opacity here also. And I'm just going to come down to around here. Move this back here. Move this back here. Come to the beginning of my timeline here. I'm going to change this opacity down to 0. So this disappears and this disappears also. So you have that cool looking transition. So it looks like the animation of the other one just pushed it out. So graph editor time, select this two, select this one and just drag that back. Select this and drag it forward. So I think this is looking very, very cool as of this moment in time. And if you guys, like I said, if you guys have any problems, please you can just let me know. I'm sure I'm going to answer your questions in real time. And we have this. Cool. Now next thing I'm going to start working on, now we have this our text. Now all these things have to be animated in. And it's not going to be just really cool like this if anytime they are in like this, they are not visible. So you have 10-day and forecast here. Now, one thing I'll tell you guys to do all the time is that whenever you have plenty things to animate like this, you need all your animations to actually be organized. And if you notice, this has a lot of layers, so the organization is gonna be a mess. So let's say I want all this now, everything on one line is going to be animated. So I can just select all of them like this now, and I have all this now. And just drag all of them to the top like this, and I can change the color. Let's change the color for this one's now to red. But I know that anytime I see everything that is red now, it's only this one that's those ones that are at the top. So we have these two also. So 10-day forecast. This is like the highest one. So let's just move this ones two to the top here. I can leave that one as normal color. So I'm just going to be just separating them like that, so that I don't have problems identifying layers at the end of the day. So let's select these ones now, move to the top. And this is the boring part of motion design when you're trying to arrange and name things. So as I'm doing this, any question that you guys have about motion design or anything in general, you can just be asking me and I'll be answering as I'm doing this. Be it about how to find jobs, where to get inspiration from, anything. I'll be answering now. So you can just type any questions that you have. If you are lost somewhere in this animation, you can also tell me so I can be answering you as we are just arranging things. I'm in a meeting, sir. No. Sorry, my uncle just called. Um, so please, any questions you guys have, you can just let me know in the comment section as I'm trying to arrange this one's Friday. This is why I always used to say arrange your this thing. If it was my normal regular YouTube video, by now I'll have just been fast forwarding and jumping all the steps because nobody cares about this step. Yeah. And I think that this thing, if you guys actually even like me to do more lives, because I've been thinking about it, and it's going to be a very cool way to interact with everybody and see how everybody is going to like, if everybody's like enjoying the content, and maybe it's a good way for you guys to get to know me too. You know, da, 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 da. Let's just, I think I've done this one already. So it's future. Yeah. This. Boy. Okay. So wow. There's no questions. But this chat is a very good chat. So, what do you see from already? You see, anyhow, why is a difference? If I was the one doing this thing, say, I'll have listening to music by now. At the end of this, maybe at the end of this live, I'll give you a sneak peek into a job I'm doing, and I'm also going to be doing a tutorial on the job. It's like actual client job. I was able to collect approval from. Okay, I might not be able to play the audio because the audio is under, maybe the audio has copyright or something. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. Oh, I think I thought about doing just right now is that I can also use AI for this. Same way I used AI in my previous video for you know animating the UI of that website. If I drop everything, if I convert this into like a PDF and drop it into Claude and tell Claude to animate it for me, Claude will most probably be able to. Yeah, that's, I don't know. Should we try it? Should we try it? Should we try it today? Or should we try it in a different video? Because that's probably a very cool thing. If Claude can actually do that for me in particular, Kai, it would save me a whole lot of time. Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying this content too. This is this is real behind the scenes. This is not even behind the scenes again. Sir. This is uh behind the curtain or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so it goes Cyan. So now we have been able to arrange everything from the beginning to the end like this. And next arrangement I want to be doing now is, even though you're able to arrange it from beginning to the end, now you have to be arranging it based on how you want it to animate. So the way this thing is like this now, I want this to come in before this, before this, before this, and before this. So what I'm going to do now is on each and every one like this now, I have to now start, rearranging the this thing again. So let's say I want today first. So today now has to come to the first layer here. This and this are going to be the second to the last. This is going to be the third. This is going to be the last. So anywhere I look like this now, I want it to be arranged very, very properly like this. And normally all this supposed to be done like from the Illustrator point. Also, most times when you're working with illustrators or we are working with people that actually do the art boards for you, sometimes they don't actually arrange it properly for you. So you also need to know that okay, this arrangement too can cannot be there for me. So you need to be able to do it by yourself. So this is the last one. This is the first one. So you have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah. Like I said, though, if you guys have any question for me, even if it's unrelated to motion graphics or graphic design or whatever, you can ask me. Yeah, this part of the video is always the bomber, you know. I hate your pain. You too. Ah boy, this part I don't like this part. This part is the boring part of motion design, man. Just be arranging, 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 arranging. I mean, do you guys remember that song? Which ones are this? Okay, I think this ones are the. Oh, I think I don't need this ones. The ones here. Okay, I think there are some previous iterations that followed this file into. So I think what happened was that I had some of these rain effects here from like what I was doing before, like when I was still creating it. So I think okay, I think I still have them. Oh Jesus, how am I going to delete all of them easily now? Let's just select to here. Let's start on selecting these ones. Ah, God, I don't like extra layers. This is the problem with extra layers. You have to start deleting the extra layers. And now you now be praying that you don't make a mistake and now delete one of the layers that you actually need. You now spoil your entire animation. Ah, God in heaven. Yeah, let me just cut them, delete them, paste it back. Yes. God, I'm so wise. I'm too wise. That's my problem. Too much wisdom is disturbing me. Okay. Oh yeah, now I see why. I see why. God, this is. I don't like this. I beg. This is just annoying me. So this is the first one. Oh boy, I'm tired of this now. Yeah. Okay. Everything I'm doing now is for like 5 seconds, for like a 5 seconds animation. So, so, okay, so that's it. Oof. So finally. we have everything done and arranged properly. And what I'm going to do now is I want to start our animation of each and every single one of them. And first of all, let's take these two for example. These two are going to come in from the right here. Let's come to the place where this animation finishes. Okay, so I want the animation to like start from somewhere around here. Let's bring that back. And I'm just going to select these two, hold P, make keyframe on my position, move that back by like 5 frames. And I'm just going to move that to that position there. Come back to the beginning of my position here. I'm just going to drag that outside like this. Now I'm going to take the track mat of this position here. I'm just going to track mat it to my shape layer here. So that yeah, I think I need to just increase this one a little bit. And just drag this down because I still need that CC light sweep at the end of the day. Cool. Something like that. Yeah, that's better. Now that I've just done that like this now, you can see now that when this one is moving inside now, it's moving inside this 10-day forecast. Now you can see that it's just animating in like that. Now I'm just going to select the two of them and I'm just going to do the same. This is just basically the same keyframe I've just been doing here, but that's just using a plugin. So I'm just going to move that down by like 2 frames. So 10-day forecast, everything is entering here. Cool. Now I'm going to start working on all this my animation. So today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of them are going to have basically the same animations. So I'm just going to open up their position property. From here like this, I'm just going to move them back by 2 frames like this. I'm just going to move them so that all of them start here. I'm going to make a keyframe on their position and I'm just going to increase their position by 40. I can just sorry. So I can just look down here. So this is at 844.5. I can just add 4 to that. That's 884.5. So I'm just going to increase that to like 884.5. So everything moves to the front like this. So let's move all these keyframes to the back first. It's supposed to go back by 5 frames. So all of them are supposed to be around here. At the beginning here, I'm just going to increase that to 884.5 like this. Now, I'm going to select all of them. Going to hit F9 to easy ease. Then I'm just going to apply that keyframe. Everything just comes in like that. Understand? Now, open up opacity, make a keyframe on opacity, move down and turn this to 0. So you have that very good looking animation like that. Now I think maybe it's happening it all a bit too fast. So let's just stop using 5 frames. Let's just take that down by one, two, three, four. Let's make it like 20 or 30. Let's check 30 and let's see how it looks. Yeah, that might be too slow for what I'm going for. Let's check 20. Maybe 10. This is 10, sorry. Yeah, I think 10 is better. We're going to do the same thing for this and just move this one back. So everything's at 10, 10, 10, 10 frames. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing for all these clouds here. So I'm just going to select all the clouds like this. Now, I'm going to come to this place and I'll move down by 2 frames. I'm just going to move all the clouds there, open up my position and opacity, make 2 keyframes there, select the 2 keyframes on those select the 2 keyframes, and I'm just going to go down like this and copy and select all the keyframes, and I'm just going to did I miss anyone? I didn't. So I'm just going to move all that keyframes down by 10 frames. At the beginning here, it is increase this to 44. Okay, like that. Now I'm just going to drag all this to 0. Hit P so I can see all the position keyframes. Just keep on selecting everything. Okay, and I'm just going to hit F9 to easy ease, then just apply this on all of them. Cool. The next thing is I'm going to do for is this numbers here. I think before I go forward, let me just close all this one so it'll be easy for me to just finish working on everything one by one. So I'm just going to select all these numbers here, 75, 65, all these numbers like this. And I'm going to just, drag them. And instead of 2, I'm just going to drag them back by 1. Now, I'm going to open up the position property and I'm just going to make a keyframe, move down. I'm just going to move all of them back like this, come back to front. There's 44, 44 like this. Now, just going to select all their position properties. Sorry, I'm supposed to start from either up or down like that. And I'm just going to hit F9, select this as my graph editor, open up so I can see my opacity, make a keyframe, move that down, change the initial opacity to 0. Oh, I did not do for the remaining ones. Let me just undo that now. Put that down to 0. Cool. Now let's hit U so I can hide that also. Now it's all these 24s. 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 23, 24, and this one here. So I'm just going to move that back again to here, then move that back by 2. Let's move, yeah, by 2 is okay. No, 1. Since the other one was 1, so this one is going to be 1 also. Okay, come back to the beginning here. P, make keyframe, select, move down. Oh, I got that spot on. Then at this beginning here, we're going to bring that down to 93. Select all these ones with this. Cool. And I'm just going to do the next thing I was doing before. That was come here, open up T, keyframe, Control Shift down, move that back, come back to the beginning, take this down to 0. So now, if you already seen what we are doing, we're already making this something that looks very, very cool already. And same thing I'm just going to do for this next two. And let's just make sure that all of them are hidden. Push it. You. Okay. So now we have these two next. So this and this and this, this. I'm just going to keep on doing that until I select every single one of it. Like this. So I'm going to just move that back again down by 2, and so them are going to move in together. So all the animations for this are going to be the same. So P, keyframe, move keyframe back, front. So that is plus 40, that is 55. Like that. Select everything. And I'm just going to use my easing again. See keyframe. Okay, now I'm done with that. Okay, so now this ones are the final ones that I'm supposed to do. Oh God, thank God we're almost done. I'm just going to select all these ones here. And just move all of these ones back. So this is one, two, like that. And open up my position again, make a keyframe, move that back, send this back to here. And now at the beginning of this part here, I'm just going to 75 plus 40, that's 11.11.1015. Okay, 75, okay, 11, wait, 75 plus 40 plus 30 is 1105 plus, okay, 1115. So something like this. Same thing. Okay, so we have that. Everything now is looking amazing and it's looking cool. So what I'm going to do now is, now that I've actually finished animating everything, let's go back and check. Now we have, there's nothing. So everything is looking cool like this. So you can see now we have finished animating the UI of everything. But I don't want the UI to just animate in like this. It's a bit too boring. So what I'm going to do is I want to start offsetting everything. So I can select this entire yellow. That's why I grouped all of them. This entire yellow like this. Now I'm just going to offset it by 2 frames. Now, then this one like this. Now I'm going to offset it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one I'm just going to offset it by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is going to be by 8. So I'm just going to be doing that for all of them. Okay, this one's supposed to go back down by that. So in case you did not arrange this well, because like at the end of the day, I was not arranging some well. The ones that are the front the most supposed to be the ones that's like supposed to go back by like 2 frames. So let's move down back again 2 frames. And move this down back like 2 frames also. So now let's put that back again. We have this cool line. You can see that it looks a little bit more professional. It looks a little bit more like the animation is a little bit more smoother now that we actually offset everything. So we just went from like a very stagnant animation to this more dynamic animation. So it's very, very cool and it looks amazing and everything. So now I'm just going to, we have some other layers here. The layers here now are the lines that are in between all these places now. So I can select all these lines from here to the top. I think, yeah, to that top. And what I'm going to do now is, because of the way the shape is and the way we are going to be animating some things, I want to make sure that anything that is outside is going to any animation that falls outside the rectangle is going to be cut off. So now I'm going to change the track matte now of that into this shape layer here. So make sure that this is still visible. Put that back. Oh shit! Oh god, of course. You're supposed to just move that into where is our this thing here? Where is our ship here again? Oh god. Okay, this is this one now. So I'm just going to move the track mat now to the ship layer down here. This is why you should always name your layers, oh, because it's do as I do territory, not do as I say. I should say do as I say, don't do as I do territory that we are in right now. You're always supposed to name your layers so that it's easy for you to actually, be able to play with them very, very well. That sounds weird. But still. So we have this now moving to this. So if you check the animation now, the animation is so clean and it's so good. You don't ever have complaints. Sef. So from here, you are moving to this. So this is a very good way to just morph your animation from one to another. And the image morphing was not even what gave us the time. Sef. What gave us issue was the what do you call it? Sorry, your phone is ringing. Kai 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 kai. How did they mute phone? Ish. Hi. Sorry. Oh. Yeah. Um. It's a client that is calling you. Jesus. Okay. So where was I again, Seth? Okay. So where was I? Yeah, I was here. Okay. Oh, client is calling me. I'm meeting calls. You people supposed to subscribe because I work. They call me and I'm here. I'm here answering. I'm here doing live. Oh yeah, now do wahala. Let's keep on going. So now that this has been rectified, oh, is it in leaving a bit too fast? It's our ship player here because as you can see, let's check it out in 2K. I think it's happening a bit too fast. So let's you let's check our graph editor. It's happening a bit too fast. Let's see I want it to go out. Let's zoom in so we can see it a bit more. Let's push that back. Let's check again. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah. This is why I used to tell people that anytime you're animating, you should just be going back and checking your animation. Go back and check your animation because all these things is going to mean a lot. It's going to mean a lot. So yeah, that's better. Okay, cool. That's looking good. So the final, okay, not the final one actually. We're supposed to transition from this shot to this shot. Then finally we are going to this shot. So let's just take this, copy it, and going back to our composition again. And I know that this tutorial has been long, and I'm really grateful for anybody that has taken the time to actually read this level. I know it's not easy, but just a little bit more, and we are done. And because if you are, because I'm teaching and I have to be going over it slowly and small, small, that it might seem a little bit daunting for anybody, but I'm not lie for you, it's not hard. Most of the transitions are going to be the same, and most of the animations are going to be the same. The only thing that I'll just tell you guys to do is to watch out for the what they call it. Watch out for the like where you name your layers and where you arrange your layers. You're bringing it. So everything that you can actually do from Illustrator or from however you create your artboards or from Figma, because I know some people create their artboards on Figma. I want you guys to know that anything that you do there to save you time, a whole lot of time, when you actually bring it into your editing software or any editing software like this. So the reason why we went through the whole rigmarole of the animation here is because we did not actually, do proper planning in Illustrator. So if in Illustrator I had already arranged layers and named it properly and la di da and do anything I want to do, it would have been easy for me, like to just keep on going from here. But because I I took the easy way around and just brought it straight into um, After Effects, that's why it's giving me all these challenges down that I'm going through or that I'm suffering right now. So next thing I'm going to do now is I just copied in this new layer here. And like I said, this now is supposed to transition into this. So what I'm going to do is let's first of all get this proportion grid back. I'm just going to bring that to the center here like this. So I think that's perfect. I get it first try. Yeah, is it perfect? I'm getting good at this. Yeah, but yeah. So let's move that up a little bit more. So we have this now, and this our layer now is supposed to transition into this. And simple way, the same way I did the last one. If I come down to our shape layer now, which one is the main layer? Let me see again. Okay, that's the bigger one. Okay, I think this is the one that's giving it its actual shape. Now we have to transition this to the smaller one here. So it's the same thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to open this up, open up my container, open up group, open up path, make a keyframe on my path. And I'm just going to come down a bit, let's say somewhere around here. And I'm just going to start selecting paths. So this, and this. I'm going to move that so that it lines up properly. Select that and move that down so it lines up properly. Select this, use this to create in transition like that. So let's see that. So you can see it's looking cool. Now, I think what I want to do again is, should I do is, I think I'm supposed to do squash and stretch. So before this comes in, so two frames before, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this and I'm just going to make a keyframe and just paste this one here and move this one back by two frame. So in this one here, I'm just going to select this and I'm just going to drag that up like that. Let's select this. I'm just going to drag that down like this. So I think I can move this back a little bit more. Okay. And I don't think I need this one anymore. I can delete that one. So let's check that out. Yeah. So another thing I can do here, I can copy this, put that out by four frames, paste that here. For this one now, I'm just going to select this, move this up, select this, move, and just move this one, select those ones. Oh god, trying to select the, trying to select this. I'm just going to move this down too. So what I'm going to have is, now you can see that bounce frame now. So let's open our graph editor and I'm just going to drag that inward like this. Cool. That's cool. So let's go back. Let's check that out. So you have this. Now let's hit U so that we can actually just move that back a bit. So it happens after all this our icons transition in. Cool. Now you can see it's looking cool like this. Now, oh, now all these layers now, because this is going to be the frame that is going to be used going forward. This is going to be the frame that is used going forward. We made a mistake when we moved our track mat into that bigger um layer like this. So all our icons here are supposed to be inside this one here. So I'm just going to just move my track mat to that layer here. So let's check that out. Okay. Now as you can see now, it's just cutting everything that is inside out. That is amazing. So the next thing I'm going to do is, as it's transitioning, we need to fade out all these characters. So I think somewhere around here, select all this, and let's open up the opacity, make a keyframe on the opacity, move down to here, and we take this down to 0. So all of them are just going to disappear. Then we now start working on the animation of this other one. So let's just select this background here and we can just delete that background because we're just going to be using this one that is inside. Now this one has to come from outside entering inside here, and this ones, how should this ones animate? Should all of them just come from inside? All of them, this one enters through here. Now this ones now can just come this way. This ones can come this other way. Hmm, I'm confused now. I don't know how these ones should enter into the frame. Let's see this. Okay, let's start working on them. I think after this place we don't need them anymore now. Okay, now that I've even done with this one self, so that we can get like a cleaner board, come down here and we're just going to cut the excess and just delete the remaining ones. So from here to here, delete, and we are done with that. Okay, so the next one like this, we're just going to move everything back to this layer, to this place here, and open up my position, make a key from my position, move down, I need 10. No, this one's supposed to be around 5. Move this back, and from this place here, we're going to start doing our own wahala. So this one now in particular, we don't want the we want the text to animate, not the oh, would that be okay? Yeah, but we want the text to just come in. Normally, let's say you want to come in line by line or something. Like I said, you cannot use lines in this one. Understand? So we have to type the text all over again, and I can just go to my receipt offer and copy the text there. Of us like running from the beginning again and starting to copy the text, going back, copying the text again, starting to write everything. So let's just get the text straight from the Illustrator file. Omo, today has been a very long video, and thank God to thanks to NEPA and MTN, we have gone with minimal network glitch. So thank God for life. So this is the text here. Okay, I've got something I need. It's not working. Oh God, let's just type it. Rainy conditions expected around 10 Okay, so now let's just do this. Reduce the text. And I'm really going to bring that down so that we can actually just fit it in properly. Okay, change this to white. Okay, so we have this cool looking animation. animation. This is our text here. And like I said in the former video, in our formula at the beginning, I have some text presets that I use. And I'm just going to basically do the same thing. And let's do ramp down for this one. And I want it to ramp down by line. Go to animator, advanced. Cool. Can I do it by? Can I do it by what? How will by words look? Nah, by lines is better. So if you have something that looks crazy, looks cool, um, Control Shift D, so we can just trim out the beginning part. So we now have that cool looking animation. Jesus. Now, okay, so I think I'm just going to use the normal scale animation for these other ones here. So I'm just going to first of all, I don't think they're aligned. So just align all of them properly like this. Align them like this. Let's do the same thing for this ones here. Align. Okay, so for this ones, I don't know what I want to use them to do like this now. I don't know if I should do scale animation. So that will be here, here. Okay, I think that will be the best one. So I'm going to just use a scale animation now. So it's going to pop up here. This pops up, and this last one now pops up. That means I did not need actually did not need all these uh keyframes for position here. I need keyframes for scale. Make make my keyframes for scale like this, and going to the beginning here. Keyframe going down to 0. Now just going to go down by 2 frames. I'm going to select all these ones here, move them back, copy, go back here, paste. I'm just going to increase all these ones now to 110. Now I'm going to select all this, and I'm going to hit that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come here, and I want this row to animate first, then this row, then that last row. So I'm just going to select those rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move that up. So I want to just start and the arrangement from the top here. So now we're gonna start first. Should I do 2 or 1? I think I should do 2. Let's do 1, 1. So we have Okay, I think one is too small. Let's do two. Okay, so now you can see we have that cool looking animation. Now we have these clouds here. But the next ones, change the color now to yellow or something. I want this to start first from this one. Try that again. And let's do the last one. This one's supposed to start first. Let's start this one first. One, two. Okay. So now we have the transition now looking good. Now we have gone. Let's zoom out again so you can see everything now. We have gone from this to this. Okay, I think there are some things that we still need to iron out because I don't feel it's as smooth as I want it. Okay, I think the problem is that this needs that our text needs to like start animating first. So I can just select all this. Let's move back by like 3 frames. Let's check that out again. Yeah, it's supposed to be looking cool now. Yeah. Let's see that again. Okay. That is looking cool. That's looking really, really cool. So now we have just we have done a lot of animation and you are not even at 5 seconds yet to show you that what's the weather. Boop, and this. Now I can see that our this thing here, what do you call it? Our mouse here needs to be on top of everything. So we can just drag that to the top. Okay, so let's check that out. Okay, I think the opacity animation is happening a bit too fast. I think here's where it's supposed to start from. So let me just go back to this my layers here and I can just adjust that. Let's check it out again. Yeah, I think that's looking a little bit more clean now. Cool. That's looking a lot more clean now. That's looking clean. Yeah. Yeah. The UI is looking clean. So I want the reason why this thing changes is because of this mouse clicking today here. So from everything I've done like this, after you click it, it goes up. From here like this now, I can come now, take position, take a key from my position. I'm just going to move that up here like this. Then I'm going to put my click animation here again. I can just copy this, paste that here. So now it just comes in, clicks. Okay, I think I need to, I can just copy this because this is supposed to stay a little bit so that it just stays in one place. As you can see this thing here, I just need to do is go back to my pen tool here, just sorry. So as you can see like this now, you can see like it's just going to jump, and I don't know why it has this loop here like this, and I want to remove that loop. I don't want it to stay in one place. So what I can do now is I can go to my keyframe assistant and I can just go to hold. So why is it still jumping? Okay, no, okay, sorry. The hold keyframe is supposed to be on this one. So go to hold keyframe. So after it finishes here, it's going to hold, and it's not going to, not going to move. But it's moving a bit too fast. So let's move this down and move this back a bit. Yeah, so that's better. You have it coming in, clicking. So very, very responsive. Have it coming in, click, going up, click. So now we have done like a whole bunch of animations here now. And everything now is telling a story. It clicks this, it goes up, it clicks, and it comes down here. So the final animation I want to do now is the animation of it clicking on now or something, and it transitioning into this final frame here of just a UI floating in the middle of like a video playing. So I already have the video that I'm going to use, and what I want now is I want to do an animation for that. Now, it's the way I'm thinking about it now. Like, okay, let's say I want it to like I want it to like move and click, or I can do a jump cut. So there are two ways I can go about it now, and that is the way I'm trying to see. What about if I use this as a way of revealing it? So I can click on this, and this is just going to transition into the video, and it's just going to scroll out into like the real world view. So let's get our video that we're using. I think it's this one. And let's just scale that down so that it like maintains its size. Now, another thing I can do here, what I'm going to do here now is, where is my background? I can just hide this for now. So this is my background here, what I'm going to use as my transition. But this background now is very, very busy because there are a lot of things that have been placed on it for the time being. It's the whole thing here. So I can just do Ctrl Shift D and just cut that out. Now I'm going to move this my video layer to above that background layer here. Like that. Move this back, and I'm going to use this as the track mat for that background layer here. Now if I click on this, I say track, where is the track mat? Yeah, okay, sorry. This track mat, I think it's this one I'm supposed to use as the track mat for my video here. I'm just going to select this and just place that in. So now you can see that the video now is inside this. And if I come to this layer here, and I'm just going to scale it up like this. Okay, why is this? Okay, I'm selecting the two of them. Oh, sorry. If I come to this my layer here, and I scale it up like this, you can see now how I want to do the reveal. So it's just going from here like this now to reveal this full video playing in the background like this. So if I just make my scale here, come down 20 seconds, I'm just going to scale it up until it's out of the way. Select these two, graph editor it. Now we have one transition already looking amazing, you know. So I can still like keep this one going and move this to the top here. Now, what I want now is I want this background now to transition into this UI here. So let's select our UI minus that. Like always, we just check the number. That is 2 to 10. This, going to copy that, come down here. I'm just going to paste that here. Let's find that. So sit outside here. I'm just going to bring that to the center of our composition. And we're just going to use our proportional grid to just align everything properly. Something like this. Now, open this up. We're going to go to our path again. Okay, keyframe our path. And I'm just going to go down like this. And I'm just going to start reshuffling my path again. Okay, so just trying to get all these edges back. So now you have everything just moving from this to that. That is cool. So what is that? So at the end here, when it's going towards the end here, I'm just going to use, like always, my scale property, and we're going to make it keep on my scale property here. Move it here. I'm just going to bring this back. I'm just going to increase this initial scale here to 110. I can still move it back. Something like this. Something like this now is okay, it's better. Something like this now is better. So now that we are done with the I think this video, since it's 4K, is a bit too heavy, so I'm just going to shut it off for now. So I can just finish working on the animation before I can bring the video back. So now we need to, feed out this our other what they call it? This our rainy days, blah blah blah, whatever is here. And how we're gonna do that is let's go back up here. So now, because of this my um handle here, this my mouse here, I'm going to just make sure make another keyframe. When you finish animating, from here like this now, make a keyframe here that it can move down to to here. Yes. And move down. What does it need this now to move? And move down to here. And let's use our pen tool to just make that graph look a little bit better. And just drag this. Cool, cool. Now I'm going to select this, copy, come down here. I'm just going to paste that here also. You have that's looking good. So I'm going to select all these ones from here down to here. Open up our opacity, make a keyframe our opacity, move down here, and just change that down to 0. Control Shift D, Control Shift D, and delete the excess. So we have everything going inside here and it clicking to open up that. That's amazing. Now, um if you check our if you check this is supposed to have like opacity, or it has to be like faded in some way. so that it could be like it has this glass look when compared to the background. So let's show the background for it for the time being. Okay, so what I'm going to do now to create that look, because I don't need this one anymore. So to create that look is that I'm going to use some editing styles that are going to make it look like, okay, it's glass hovering above this. So I want to make this feel like a little bit more glassy, have like a glass texture and stuff. So first of all, the reference, I don't need the reference anymore. I just need this. Cool, like this. And I want to create a new adjustment layer. Let's create new adjustment layer. Let's move that to the back here. Go to my effect and preset panel here. And I'm going to type in Fastbox Blur, apply here. I'm going to increase the blur radius until you have something that looks like this. Now, set this fast blocks blur, English hard. Set this fast box blur. I'm going to select this, and I'm not going to change the track matte of my fast box blur to this my layer here, so that everything now is contained inside like this. We have this now. It now looks like this. And you can notice that inside this place like this now, we are now seeing some things that we are not supposed to be seeing. Understand? What I can do now is Control Shift D and cut it out of this background here. Understand? Change my fax box blur on this new layer, and now let's play that back. So you can see now that the fax box blur, the, the fax box blur now is not looking more like what we want it to look like. So let's just make it a bit translucent, just a bit less translucent like this. I'm going to my effect and preset panel now. I'm going to type in brightness. I'm just going to apply brightness and contrast there also. I'm going to dim the brightness a little bit so that it comes out a little bit more. Now I'm going to type in CC lights, that light sweep. I'm going to apply CC light sweep there also, that you can have that our edge here. Change that to smooth, drop the intensity. Let's move the angle, increase the width, so you can have something that looks like this. Okay, so now our background now is not supposed to change until this clicks, until on that click. So let's find that other one so that it's here. Okay, I think I have an idea. I think it's going to work well for us. So I'm thinking about the background of this one should already be like this, our video here. The background here is supposed to be the video. So I can come to the front here, and after that transition, let's say this transition here, the background from here like this already should be the video. So let's just move the video in a bit more. Let's move this back to here. Let's move this to here also. So let's check how it's looking. Go back to the full. Okay. So I think on the video, for example, now at this point in time, it should still look darker. So let's go to brightness and apply brightness to our video here. Now this one now is just something that just entered my head at this 9 minutes. So let's come here, make it show my brightness and contrast. Come back to the come back to when it gets clicked. That down and let's just drop the brightness of the entire video. So if you play that back now, it's just supposed to, yeah, it's supposed to look a whole lot better. Okay, so I think this is looking good also. I just need to find a way to make the video from here to here transition properly. If I just use opacity from here to here, I think that's supposed to blend the transition well. And the one here now should be at 0. Okay, so now like this now, you can see that we have already done something crazy. And you can see that the animation looks a whole lot more smoother and coherent. But I have a feeling that transition to from this shot to this shot should be a little bit slower. Where is what transition elements here like this? Okay, I think that is this. Okay, so let's check that out again. Okay, I think I need to do something with this. Maybe add like maybe add like fast box blur to the transition. Okay, I think that will work very well. So start make a keyframe here. You Put that down here, then drop this down to 0. And let's increase this. Yes, sir, it's not really, I don't want it to be too, I don't want it to be too distant, to be too, yeah, so I think this is better. So just going from that to that, it's a whole lot better. I think even the animation itself needs to be slower. So I can just select all this, just move them down a little bit more. Okay, so during this transition, I want the mouse to disappear. There's no more mouse after here. Okay, so I think that's better. Cool. Now, I think for the final transition I want to do now, I want to just like for my final money shot, I want it to just go back to the um weather logo. So just going to transition from this, or alternatively, I can make this the background, then to just transition from this into, yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use this as the icon background, and just bring in that sun and cloud on this. So let's come here. So after a while, is that thing? So for this scale, I think I need to add some flow elements. I think it's better. I want to just drag that part inside a little bit. Okay, let's check that out. Cool. So from here like this now, I want to just do the final animation. So this is just going to shrink back into the icon. Okay, Let's just align that to the center of our composition. And I'm just going to form this one around that. And so let's just make a keyframe on this part. And I'm just going to adjust it down to the size of this one. Let's hide this line. Okay. Now I'm just going to make a keyframe my scale here. Come back to the beginning here, and I'm just going to reduce that a bit, go to around 90. I'm just going to, fade that out also. So I don't actually need this bottom rectangle anymore because I already have everything that I need like this. So next thing is the animation for this. Over my position property down here, make a keyframe on my position. Back to the beginning here. I'm just going to select them, drag this one out here, drag, drag this one inside, outside here, select this to keyframe, I say keyframe, graph editor. Then I'm just going to take their track matte now, and I'm just going to put their track matte on this, my layer here. So let's just say we're going to stop it around here. So we have done an 8-second animation, and we have used 125 individual layers for that. Yeah, it wasn't easy. You guys have tried. Okay, so I can already start seeing there are some issues I'm seeing. For example, there's a problem with the transition here. Yeah, there's a problem with transition there. And I think it's between here and here. Yeah. Okay, so I think we need to just work on the transitions here. So I feel like there's a mismatch in the size of this and the size of this. Yeah, there's a mismatch. Okay, the scale starting from this is 110. So we just come down here and change the scale to 100. Okay, so I think that's fixed it. Let's try that again. Okay, so I think the next thing I'm noticing is that there's no indication that something was clicked here. So let's say on this today that this came to like this now, I'm not seeing a visible cue that something was clicked there. So I think I need to, yeah. So let's see again. Is there anything I can fix on that? I think the way we can do that to actually help better is like by adding like a click, maybe a click audio or a click sound effect. So instead of it just being left to the imagination, now we have like an auditory something that is just telling us, okay, something was actually clicked here. Another thing I'm seeing here is this weather. I'm seeing that there is there's like little movement after the initial movement. So I think you can see that again. So I think I'm just going to toggle hold keyframes here also. Yeah, that is better. Let's check that out again. Yeah, I think I can just leave it to play on a little bit after. So we can have like something very cinematic. Okay. So this is just going to be like a dummy animation. We are not actually done, but we are done with the animation of the individual parts and the individual components that will actually make up the final animation. But we still have things to do like sound design, like camera movement, because right now the animation is a bit boring. You understand? The animation doesn't carry as much weight because I have not added sound design. I have not given it like a camera movement so that the camera will be like, okay, because the thing about motion design is that nothing is supposed to stay stagnant for too long. Things are supposed to keep on moving and things are supposed to keep on changing. You're not supposed to have any point in time when your animation stops. You understand? So we do that with camera movement. So we are going to be adding that maybe in our next live, because I think we have already been live for close to like 2 hours or over 2 hours right now. And I know a lot of people are tired of me, said I'm tired. So maybe I'm going to do another live tomorrow where I'll go over camera movement and sound design. And if if you guys are if you guys have followed me for this long, a big thank you. I know it's not easy. Learning is not easy. And whenever you're trying to learn stuff like this, I understand that it's not going to be easy for you. But this is just how everything is. Victory 290 9285. Thank you so much for the doing great. Um I I know it's not easy, but it's just to keep at it. We have covered a whole lot in this video, and I'm really, really grateful for you guys just sticking with me through these turbulent times. You understand? But right now, Steph, I'm even thinking that maybe our transition here did not give a lot of time for this to stay. So I think that's what I'm going to just fix maybe for our next live. Just gives a lot of time for this to stay before we move on to the next animation or move on to the next. So yeah, in our next live, I think I'll try and see if I can go live tomorrow to see if we can actually complete this. So after this class like this, I'll be dropping the project files in the video description so you guys can walk along with me and do something before tomorrow. So that by tomorrow or by next tomorrow, whenever we're going live next, you guys already have the blueprint of whatever you were doing. So yeah, mm, it's a has been a good day. Let me save, I beg. I don't want to hear anything. And I will catch you in the next video. So from now to the next time, please, I want all of you to remember to improve every day, to grow constantly, and to dream endlessly. I love you guys. I love MTN. They tried today for me. Yeah. And I say we'll talk. I will catch you in the next video. Please, if you have any questions between now and the next video, please remember to just keep it down. You can ask me. Feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media platforms. I will be able to get back. I will be able to get to you whether I'm able to get to you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. She back shalom. Come on, let me even snap you.